Hey guys, Rox here, with a new fun speed farming build that I'm calling Ice Stomp. This build can speed farm 80s in under 2 minutes and can push well into the 90s. I have not tried pit pushing or limit testing just yet, but at the end of this video you will see how this build performs on a pit tier 95, which did a lot better than I thought it was going to do when we put this build together. It quickly kills tormented bosses and can speed through helltides and hordes. This build focuses on damage from lucky hit to cold procs from ice shards and teleport. Ice Shard's rapid rate of fire allows us to quickly reset our evade cooldown, allowing us to constantly spam teleport. Just make sure you're using a pair of boots with the implicit attacks reduce evades cooldown on them. I'm also using Frosty Strides in this build, for a little more cold damage, the insta-freeze, and a reliable way to make enemies vulnerable. This build focuses most of its damage on enemies that are crowd controlled. The constant teleport spam procs Raiment and Fists of Fate, which will help us stagger the boss quickly. That's where most of our boss damage comes from, during the stagger. I've been going back and forth between using Ice Shards and Ice Blades enchant. Ice Shards is better for the trash, but does almost nothing for us on the boss, especially if the boss has no adds. Ice Blades will make the boss kill timings go much quicker, but the trash will be a little slower. The same can be said about the aspect of Piercing Cold. Once again, nice on the trash, but doesn't do much for us on the boss. So this is all personal preference. Do you prefer boss damage or trash damage? Either decision you make works. Blizzard announced a change to the aspect of Piercing Cold in the mid-season update, so once that hits, I'll revisit using the aspect in the build once again next week. Since this is a Frosty Strides build, that means we need to play it injured. To get injured, simply run out of town and have some trash mobs hit you a few times, but don't lose too much of your health. An easy check to make sure you're at the right amount of HP is to teleport and see if a frost circle procs underneath you. When injured below a certain HP, we get a blinking red vignette around the edge of our screen. There is no way to avoid this other than being higher health. The lower your health, the more prevalent the blinking border. Unfortunately, this means you cannot use Shroud of False Death, because that will give us the Warmth passive, which will heal us and no longer give us access to Frosty Strides. So get your HP to a little below whatever your percentage for Frosty Strides reads. For mine, since my aspect is 59%, this means I just need to be at 59% health or below it. This build plays similar to my Chain Lightning build. You'll want to spam nearly every ability off of cooldown while holding down Ice Shards and constantly evade teleporting. Teleport has a very high lucky hit chance, so each time we teleport, we have a very high chance to proc these lucky hits to deal cold damage. We will be using Shaco in this build, which gives us some nice defensive stats. It gives us a larger health pool, and our barrier scales off of our max HP, not the HP we currently sit at while injured, so it's not as scary as it seems. Personally, for me, to avoid additionally healing, I change my potion hotkey so I don't accidentally press it during combat. As long as you dodge one-shot mechanics like Plague Bearer eruptions and fire explosions while constantly refreshing your barrier, you should be fine to sit at injured health. Since we have such high cooldown reduction on this build, Flame Shield will be available much sooner than builds using Perdition. Spamming Flame Shield can also help make sure enemies are burning for both damage and damage reduction. This is mostly a showcase video, so I won't be going over each piece of gear individually or this build too in-depth. You can find all of the gear linked in my build planner in the description below. I also show all of the gear, stats, enchants, skills, and paragons at the end of the video if you prefer to view it that way as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.